Greetings, everyone. Good evening, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I'm the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So today we are here for an episode of What's New. It's going to come out very late. Was busy all day, just got home now. So you're looking at probably around 10 o'clock this will come out. I do apologize, but sometimes get taken away and don't get back in time to do what I had planned to do. So tonight, What's New is the episode we're doing. It's from a band called Plantiod. Plantiod, if you ever see it, it's a cover of almost a triffid-like plant. Actually, it doesn't really look like that. It looks more like an umbrella tree. On Terrapath is the album. This was released February the 7th, 2024 on the Bella Union Records label, featuring Chloe Coyne on vocals, Tom Coyne on guitars, Lewis Bradshaw on drums, and Bernard Larish on bass, where he is the bassist, so to speak. It doesn't say anything about the keyboard parts on here, but there are a significant number of that, dominated at times by synthesizers and keyboards. I found nothing to show who was playing what, but I'm sure that if I was to get the album, it would have all that info on it. So there are 10 tracks on this album. So basically this album is a progressive rock album, no doubt about that. Has a lot of kind of mellow, almost spacey type stuff on it at times. Also a lot of jazzy feel to the album. There's a kind of progressive jazzy feel to that album as well. Or what we would call, what did they call that? I can't think of the name of it. Sorry, it's late. I've been out all day. My brain isn't going to function too well, so I'll try to stay away from labels because I tend to forget them first. Those are the first and foremost things I usually forget. The drums, the guitars, the bass, the keyboards, the synthesizers, all really well done. This is a good instrumentation album for sure. So we'll start by going over the tracks. Is That You, opening track, symphonic background to it, lots of slow, melodic, but spacey guitar parts to this particular track. Vocals are smooth, a little bit marshmallowy, but clear, excellent sound on this particular track. Heavy guitar part that takes over from that melodic energy that is going on early in the album. That takes over later in the album, and the song beefs up quite a bit. This was one of the 2 or 3 songs that I gave a greater than a 6.5 on. Next song is called Pressure. This is kind of a raw guitar sound to it. Lots of drum parts on this particular song. The solo is filled in there between the two, doing very extensive sound to it, I think. Then you have a catchy riff, chaotic at times, but melodic as well. Vocals are more medium sounding here, but more in the background, which then becomes pretty much the normal for the rest of the album. The first song was a lot clearer, I found, and the other songs were a little bit more in the background and not quite as clear. Manipulator, which I think is the longest song on this album. I like this one quite a bit. It's more of an up-tempo, pretty drum-dominated, and some good rhythm sections on this particular track. The vocals are high-end, but mellow at times. Strong, but a deep solo. Solo is played in a deeper range than normal you would get on a song like this. But there's lots of keyboards and synthesizers again in the background here. A bit of a bluesy track with some jazzy feel towards the end of the song as well. But I like the mixture of everything on this song. It's a well orchestrated, well conceived, and well executed track. So that one was probably another one of my favorites. The next one, It's Not Real. This is a short song. Lots of voices, a little bits of bluesy guitar and sound here, but no vocals, basically. So it's just a short, brief track where you can hear people talking, almost like in a bar, I think. Next up is Dog's Life. This is probably my favorite track on the album. Very up-tempo, fast-paced. Guitar and drum parts are dominant here. Vocals are melodic but marshmallowy, but very heavy as well. It's got a really kind of a catchy melody and a catchy beat to it, so easily my favorite track, I think. And then it drops to probably what I think is maybe the worst track on the album. Only When I'm Thinking. I didn't really care much for this track. I don't think it was a terrible track, but I didn't pass it. I didn't think it was that good. It's kind of a slow melodic melody. The vocals are a bit too marshmallowy on this track. Then the next track is Wander Wonder. Another slow jazzy piece with some vocals that are kind of marshmallowy. The bass drums are a little bit more dominant here. It picks up towards the halfway point, and then you get this kind of serious guitar part that kind of dominates throughout the rest of the track. So yeah, I think this song is a little better than the previous one, but not much. I had the other three reviews on a different page, so we're just going to turn over. So you got 3 tracks left. Basically, what Insomniac, Don't Worry, that's the name of the track. This one's the best of the 3 remaining tracks. Kind of a heavy, fast-paced track with lots of drums, but keyboard dominated, and a catchy rhythm section, but not really a terribly memorable song. GW Drift, which is the next song, another fast-paced drum track with some guitar-dominated parts. A real jazzy feel, but up-tempo, fast-paced. Another not-so-memorable track. And then the final track, which is a Softly Speaking. This is a vocal, more toned-down, melodic vocal sound here. Slow. The song is the only song on the album that's dominated by piano. Piano's not bad, too, but there's no indication as to who's playing it. And a solemn sound. So it's more of a forlorn song. It's not bad, though. The only reason it's a little bit more memorable because it's a little different than most of the rest of the tracks on the album. So I did like it. It wasn't bad. So overall, I think this is a good album. I think it's an album that, because there's so much different stuff going on, I think it's kind of an album that will start out maybe not as big of an interest in it as you might have after you've been listening to it for a while. I think more stuff will come in and pick up. If I had a criticism, I didn't really like the vocals. I would have preferred a different vocalist. I just don't care for the marshmallowy sound. It's too far in the back, and it's too soft and too non-aggressive. Doesn't even have any bite to it at all, really. But I guess if you want to look at it in that light, it's probably better that they did have it in the background. In this case, I think there's a few songs that aren't too bad with the vocals, but I think this kind of an album might be better off without a vocalist if that's what they're going to use. So I'm sorry if the vocalist doesn't like it, but that's just my own personal opinion about it. I think the album as a whole is pretty solid instrumentally. I think if they get maybe a different vocalist, they could really do quite a bit more here. But I doubt that's going to happen since the vocalist and the guitarist have the same last name. It's pretty reasonable to assume that they're either brother and sister or husband and wife. I think it's more likely the other one. So, but not a bad album. I think I could be persuaded to get it if I saw it somewhere for a reasonable price. But I'm not going to go hunting for it. But still, not bad. So that's Plantiod, and the album is called. I forgot what the name of the album was. I thought the album was actually Plantiod, but it isn't. Originally when I wrote it down, I thought that was the album title, and the Terrapath, which is the album title, I thought was the name of the band. So a little bit confused on that part. Anyways, I did enjoy it. I listened to it during my baseball when I had a chance today, and I thought it was good. So give it a listen. You won't go wrong. You easily find it. Just punch in Plantiod. It'll come right up. You could either listen to it on YouTube or on Bandcamp or one of the other type of stations that might have it. Sites that might have it, not stations. We're not playing radio here. Anyways, I'm getting a little bit tired, which means I'm going to start saying stupid shit. So probably time to end this. I hope that if you've enjoyed this episode, please hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell. And any comments about this album or the band itself, you can put in the comment section below. And we'll be back tomorrow with the beginning of next week. So take care and have a good one. Goodbye.